Hello, Flosstube. My name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my channel about cross stitch, and this is Flosstube number 244. Today is Saturday, August 6th, 2022. For those of you keeping score at home, my sisters and I just went to the movies this afternoon, and so anyway, so this if this is a little later for you, that's why. I film at all all hours. It seems like, just depending on when there's, whenever the time arises. Anyway, so I don't have any haul this week, oddly enough. I didn't do any shopping. But I did a lot of stitching, actually. Just a little bit on every day on a few different projects. So, first of all, I wanted to talk about July's WIPGO. I last week, I had hit 10 days on both of them by then, I think. But I had the weekend. I had a few more hours on Saturday, and then a little bit of time on Sunday. So I don't know. I don't remember. Which usually I try to watch my video, before I film another one, so that I know what I talked about and what I didn't. But I don't think I had shown all the stitching that I had put in finally on Saturday. So I did a little bit more stitching on this one. So I finished the fox. I finished his ears and the white in the eyes. And one thing I did do is, you can kind of see the holes here. I took this out because I had this over here, and that was wrong. There's there is like a leaf or something over here, but it's completely different. This is supposed to go above this. So I took it out of there and redid it over there. And then I, just did a little bit here and there. So I finished the fox, and I don't think I did any stitching down here, except maybe this little bit. And then I did the beginnings of the hedgehog that goes up here. So these little single dots, individual dots, are his little feet, and that's his head, part of his face, or whatever. And then there's a whole bunch of two or three other colors up here. So yeah, so I did a little bit on this. This was my WIPGO number 18. So now I really am gonna put it away for the time being. I don't know, I'll get back to it before next year or not, I don't know. So there's that. And then I also, on Sunday I guess, I did a little bit more stitching on this one, which was my number 11, and Heaven and Nature. Oh, for those of you who maybe haven't seen it before or didn't know about it before, this is the Hello Autumn by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and it's on 28 count even weave. I think that was avocado dyed. So there's, yeah. And like I said, I'll probably just put that away until next time. I don't know. And then this is And Heaven and Nature Sing by Kathy Barrick. And so I did a little bit more on the face of the deer. You can see the general shape of it. Did the neck and a little bit more of the head. And I will probably put that away too. So this is, I believe it's 32 count linen. And I coffee tea dyed or something some time ago. Long enough ago that I don't remember exactly what I did. I think I have a little tag somewhere. Excuse me, I've got something in my eye. But now I talked about last time about my what I called my ambitious August. I had a whole bunch of things on my list that I wanted to work on, and so I did not get to the. I mean, I have not done any work on the two WIPGO projects that were called number 20 and number 25, that are both I both have on my chart as new starts, and they're going to be a Parade of Elephants by Jeannine McGowan of Blue Flower, and Elephant Biscornu by Tinymodernist. Those two are my 20 and 25 WIPGO projects, and so I haven't started those yet, and I will start them probably shortly before the 10th of August or whatever. So I also then had a whole bunch of little projects that I wanted to do. So the first of those is the August Rabbit. And again, this is it. They're white rabbits, but this is a very light background cloth, so they're a little hard to see, hard to make out. Like, you know, like down here you can kind of see these are upside down rabbits, but these are their ears and their bodies. You can see better if I turn it this way. It makes a little more sense. There you go. Oh, there's sort of a leaping bunny right there, and there's a little partner. So this is upside down just because these are the better, easier to see it. They're a little washed out by the photography here on top. So I think I misspoke last time. It goes like this. I said this cloth was, I don't know if I said ice or spa, but it's ice is the white color, and spa is this blue color. I think I called it ice, but it's actually spa. So anyway, this is just my corner of the fabric mark, but this little carrot, there's a little green top of the carrot, and I did one rabbit and the beginnings of another rabbit before I got to the end of my thread that I was using. So, and these are done in Gloriana silks. And once again, I've got, yeah, I can't get rid of whatever it is in my eye. The list of silks is basically the same. There's about 13 silks for the 12 months of these, the 12 charts. And so, you know, and if you go to to their website, inkcircles.com, and if you go to /pages/rabbit-rabbit, it lists a DMC conversion if you want to do that, and also a Weeks Dye Works conversion, as well as the Gloriana silks. There's like a list of like all the silks that are called for, I think. And also, if you want to do them all in one, if you want, there's an optional border that you can do either on the individual rabbits, you know, on the individual rabbit, or if you want to do all 12 in one piece, there's a chart that has the free, you know, downloadable PDF border for all 12 of them. So there's, like, you know, a border around each one, and you know, anyway, so you can check that out on their website. Again, inkcircles.com / I'll put it in the description box below. I don't think I put that in there before, or it's been a long time. But anyway, so there's floss info for all 12 blocks, free downloadable border charts, and Lady Dot creates finishing pack info. So you can order a finishing pack to finish this. The finishing pack comes with this rickrack and these little charms and that sort of thing. So I didn't download it, order any of that stuff. But so anyway, I've got a little bit of a start on the August rabbit. So there's that. And I also then did a little bit of work on Sheepish Manor. This is a Chessie and me chart. Kit. It's a kit. And so it comes with Gloriana silks and a needle and a piece of fabric. And then there's also like a little alphabet chart so you can put your own initials or whatever. The designer put her own initials here. So there's, like I said, there's an alphabet chart so you can put your initials. And I think the sheep's face, I can't remember, is done in eyelet stitches, and the leaves here are lazy daisy stitches. But so I got a little bit of a start on this house. So I started in the center. Started slightly off center, but with the house. So I've got about half of the house. And again, this was silks with the little needle that came with it. And this is, I want to say 32 or 36 count linen. Again, that was supplied with the kit. And this little needle minder is just it's a little kitty that my friend Sharon Metcalf sent me a long time ago. So yeah. Oh, and I'm going to say this needle minder is Love to Stitch. This is from embroidery.com, the February Love to Stitch challenge. Anyway, so I got a little bit of a start on Sheepish Manor by Chessie and me. And then so I dyed some fabric. I talked about last time about how I thought, oh, I don't need to dye fabric, and I realized, yes, I do. I wanted to dye the kit Ada that came with a couple of kits that I have, and I wanted to dye some fabric for the it's Come Thou Fount chart, and this is the chart. I don't think I had it out last time. You can't tell this because it's white on white, but there's white stitches on this angel, and then there's like and the wings are white, but there's like a little gold back stitching, and so it's hard to see it on white on white. So I wanted to dye some fabric for this piece, and it's kind of a large chart. It's like, I want to say 246 stitches and about 140 or 150 across. So it's good size. And I think it's smaller than the one I originally did. And the one I originally did was on, I want to say a piece of even weave or something that was like, that I copy dyed or something like that. So it was kind of a pretty common color, I guess. And I was kind of leaning that way, and so I coffee dyed it, but it didn't quite come out as dark as I had wanted. So I just took it and stuck it in some Rit dye, and it was either coral or wine or some other color like that, but very light. I didn't want it too dark. So it has this sort of rosy tinge to it, pinky tinge to it. And you really can't see the that it was coffee dyed at all. I think the coffee wasn't dark enough and it kind of washed out a little bit when I rinsed it off. But so, but I think this fabric, even though it's very light and, you know, like I said, and it has this pinkish hue to it, um, it, I think it's dark enough that the white that's in the pattern will stand out. Those little angels, I think, will stand out. And the other colors are like, you know, blues and greens and things like that. So I think they'll work on this as well. So, and this is 28 count even weave. So this is a pretty big piece of fabric. It's like 30 by 36 inches. So it should be fine for that. So I dyed that piece of fabric. And then I had two little kits. Excuse me. One was an elephant from DMC, and the other was a little kitty from Bucilla. So I dyed these. This is the little kitty cat from Bucilla. It's a beginner's kit. And it comes with this little plastic frame, which I may or may not use. I don't know. I kind of doubt it. But I wanted to do that part. Sorry, this little cardboard thing from the kit is kind of bent because I had a small Ziploc bag that I crammed it into, so I folded it in half. But so, like I said, this came with white Aida, and it's, you know, it's kind of full coverage down here on the bottom. But I decided I wanted something blue to be skyish for behind the cat on the top here. And there's a little ladybug floating around. So I dyed it this kind of a blue color. And this is like I want to say evening blue, and then with a little bit of indigo splashed in there. So this is the little purple middle chest of the cat, and then just started on the body of the cat. And above this is a bow tie, this little red bow tie. So I'm right here on just this little bit right here of the purple. And because this is a beginner kit, I guess, and you know, it came with a needle and all the threads, but the needle that came with it and it seemed, especially because I've been working on the needle that came with that Chessie and Me kit is pretty fine, and also the thread and the needle that I'm using that I was using for the rabbit was, you know, pretty fine. The cloth for the rabbit is 32 count. That 32 count Murano Carré. I don't think I mentioned the fabric, just the color, but so between, you know, so all of those were pretty fine needles, and so this one felt like a log, you know. It seemed so thick, and you know, part of it is that it's a beginner kit, but also with it being so thick, it was really hard to get it under the you know, to weave in the end here. So I actually switched needles. You know, I changed out the needle for a finer one. And even this one, you know, it's not that fine, but it's smaller than the needle that came with the kit. And this design has, I don't know, you can't see it really here because it keeps washing out on the camera. But like where the neck and the body of the cat meet, there's little, you know, quarter stitches, whatever, where you have to, you know, in this case, you have to split the Aida, you know, because part of the stitch is the cat's body and part of the stitch is it's a little bow tie collar or whatever. And so those things, you know, you have to split the Aida because that is on. If it was, you know, even weave or something like that, you know, you'd have the little holes, you know, have holes, to use. But so anyway, that big fat thick needle that it came with would have been really, really, really hard to push through those through the Ada, and even the needle that I have is hard to get to go through there. So yeah, so I'm glad I switched out the needle for something a little bit that would work a little better, a little easier. But so I got just a little bit of a start on that one, and then I would just stitching it in hand because because it's so small. And then the other thing, I dyed the fabric, but I did not start this one yet. And this is the DMC blue elephant. So the elephant itself is blue, but it's very colorful. It's a very colorful chart. There's greens and yellows and pinks there. And so I very differently dyed this an aquamarine color. And I did a few splashes of indigo. And I have my needle stuck in here. This is the needle that came with the kit. Because I want to say it goes like this, yeah. I'm trying to get it to not wash out so much, yeah. So you can get a better idea of a color. So I decided to do that, and I went with that color. And this is the little floss card that came in the kit. Oops, sorry. So I think all the colors will show up on there. The only one I was concerned about is the actual blue of the blue elephant, but I think it'll show up well enough. It's a little close in a way, but it doesn't clash, which is what I was concerned with. It doesn't really clash. It's just a little on the on the close side. The color. So I'm trying to get it out from under there. The color itself. Here, let me do this way. It looks okay with a lot of the threads all together, but it's a little, if you pull like one or two strands out, it's a little close. But, there's so much other color surrounding it, and if worse came to worse, I could just take, the darker blue and backstitch around the elephant if I had to. So, anyway, I think the colors they'll all look pretty good against that aquamarine, I think is the color that I used for that, the Rit dye. And again, with the splashes of indigo blue on those. So I did that. And then what I spent the most time on, I started this on the 1st, and I'm actually almost done. I think I did like only like maybe 3 days of this week, maybe a little bit more. And this is Hippity Hop, by Primrose Cottage Stitches. Lindsey Waite is the designer. And this is Lindsey's stamp series. Excuse me, it's called. So this is Hippity Hop. This is my cross stitch camp piece for August. I've never. The challenge was to do something new to use. So this is a new designer to me, and also a new fabric to me. This is 40 count. It's just called Embroidery Fabric by by Hobby Lobby, and it's a little pilly. It's like cotton, but it's a little pilly, like it pills on a sweater kind of. So it feels like a little pilly. You can kind of see if I tilt it a little bit, you can kind of see how how, you know, it looks, and that's just from handling it, you know. Yeah, and it's very has a lot of threads hanging off of it. But anyway, so it's 40 count, so it's very, very tiny. And so I'm stitching 1/2 on 40 count. And I'm really almost done. I just have the little frame to finish it, and it'll be finished. It'll be done. I did have a little bit, well, there's one little error in here where I accidentally stitched over you know, 2 X's. I skipped one of the X's, and when you first glance at it, you can't see it, but I know it's in there. If I really look, it's right there by one of these P's here. So it's very tiny, very hard to see, but you know, yeah, there's one mistake there. But the worst thing, the most disheartening thing when I found out was where I was working on this H here, and I had already put in the bunny, and the bunny I knew was in the right place because it's just one stitch off of here, and you know, I did Hippity, this square and the word Hippity, and then I did this bunny, and I was working on this H, and I had done this part, and if you look, there's 2 rows here, right, and then this, and then the 2 rows here. And I was using the, you know, out and back method of the you know, the DMC threads, and I had gone all the way down here and done this, and then done all the way here and done that, and come across, and I did the inside leg, and I was down the outside leg here, and I got down here, and I realized I was one square short. So I went ahead and finished this leg here properly, and then went back, and with my scissors, which have a little bit of a curve, fortunately, they have a little bit of a curve to them. Sorry. Here, you can see the curve. I was able to snip the ends of the thread of this part of the crossbar, and this part of the crossbar, and this part of the crossbar. And so I was able to just pull out this one little stretch of the H's, pull out this part of the crossbar, and then like a couple of stitches up the legs of this. You can kind of see the difference, sort of. But if you glanced at it and you didn't know that I had done that correction, you wouldn't be able to tell. You can kind of see it on the back because I had to, like, and I didn't, cut real closely there, but I had to use this technique that I got from Caroline Friday Off the Grid, where you take a little piece of waste thread and you fold it in half basically, and stick the two, like you're going to do a loop start. You stick the two edges through the needle, and then you weave it in there, and then you use that loop and pull those the short edges under, and anyway, so that's how I got the little corrections on there, and then I just stitched the H's correctly. So, but then also the yellow that is in the center of the flowers and this blue here, I couldn't find those bobbins amongst my things, and so I thought, well, they're probably in a project, one of my WIPGO project bags, whatever. It's in one of those bags, because I looked through all my DMC boxes and the project that I had, handy right there, and I couldn't find them. And I knew that I knew I had those numbers. I figured, they've got to be in some other project somewhere that I didn't take them out or whatever. And so I was kind of resigned to the fact that, I thought, you know, I'll just buy them at Hobby Lobby or whatever, or Joann's or whatever. I'll just look for those colors. And, I was kind of kicking myself because the other day I went to Hobby Lobby and got some threads. And if I had thought about it, I would have, but I didn't do it. I didn't get those two numbers somehow. And so I was resigned to the fact that I was going to have to sit there and go through all my other project bags and find them. I was just being lazy about it, not wanting to have to do that. But as I was, going over to get my WIPGO, my WIP projects out, I remembered I saw this little box of bobbins from that my younger sister had. I guess she had a kit, years and years ago. She gave me all her cross stitch stuff a few years ago when just after I moved here and was, after my surgery, and I was getting more into cross stitch again and stuff like that. She gave me all her cross stitch stuff because she said, I'm really never going to work on this. So she gave me a little box that had all these bobbins from a kit. But so she had very neatly, labeled them all and everything. And I know they're from a kit because it's not like a full skein, a fat full skein of thread. But anyway, so I thought, well, maybe they're in that box, just like on offhand, And so I went through there, and sure enough, both of them were there. Both numbers were there. But she had very neatly, labeled, put the number on there and the symbol from the kit, and so see, you can tell that it's not a full skein of thread, but so yeah, so those numbers were in there. But this since it's so tiny, I'm stitching, with one thread over two, and I was remarking to my sisters earlier how stitching with one thread like this, it seems so fine. It's like sometimes it feels like I'm stitching with a spider web, between this and the silk threads. I'm using one thread over two for the rabbit and the Chessie and me Sheepish Manor. Those are also one thread, and it's one silk thread. And again, it feels like stitching with a spider web. It's so thin. With those two, because they're Gloriana silks, I'm doing one X at a time. And with this one, I'm doing out and back, except for this border, the longer, it's like a 3-level thing. There's this line that goes all the way around the inside line, and then there's this little pattern of 4 and 2, and so that I'm doing a sort of out and back, and then getting back. Once I got back to the inner border, it's I'm doing one X at a time, so that I don't get all the way around and have to go all the way back again. So yeah, I'm almost done. I'm thinking that by the end of this weekend, but between today and tomorrow, I may go ahead and finish that, and then I'll have my August camp project finished. So yeah. So like I said, I've been doing a lot of stitching, and then so once I finish this camp project, I think I'm going to work some more on the Chessie and me Sheepish Manor, and probably get the elephant started, and maybe do a little bit more in the kitty, just so I have several days of just working on all those things. And I might even, excuse me, I'll sneeze, if I can, I might go ahead and do the little come down fount. Like I said, I did it once, but then I changed everything. I did a different font and different. I changed some of the little design things, some of these the designs around there, and I changed the water. So, like I said, I want to restitch it, and I also added. It's not on this sheet, but on the other like instruction sheet. It has like the author of the words and music are listed on there. Just to be thorough. But I think that's probably about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've left out. I don't think so. But like I said, I think I have until basically the 10th, because like the 10th to the 20th, and the 20th to the 30th or the 31st, whatever. So I have 10 days to do the two new starts, the Parade of Elephants and the Elephant Biscornu. But so I have a few days to just sort of play with all these other things for my ambitious August. But so yeah, I got a lot of touched each several projects, and I want to do a little bit more on each one, because when I was in school, my bassoon teacher, Artemis Edwards, he used to say, when he said that when people would ask him, "What's your favorite piece?" he was always like, whatever I'm working on right now, and that's kind of how I am with stitching. Like whatever I'm working on right now, I'm like, ooh, I really like it. I really like it. Everybody has different tastes, and like some people just really love samplers. The little houses and the alphabets and the whatever, the motifs and all that. Some people really love geometric patterns, things like there's a whole series of them. Well, and some people like the ink circles. How with ink circles there's several different patterns, but there's like mandalas and mandalas, however you say that word. And there's just all kinds of different things, and other people like very realistic patterns and things like that. And for the longest time, I wasn't really quite sure what it was that I really liked. And now that in the last few years, when I've been doing more and more stitching, I've come to find that I really like the whimsical little things like Hippity Hop, like that blue elephant, like the Chessie and me Sheepish Manor, like the rabbit, excuse me, the rabbit patterns, like the animals in the Hello Autumn, like the deer and and Heaven and Nature Sing. So those sort of animal kind of things I really like. And like like recently I've given away I sold some lavender and lace, the angels, and given away lots of different things. I had some Irish patterns that are really beautiful, and I just really loved them at the time. But when it came to stitching them, I was like, I like to look at them, but I wouldn't necessarily be very enthusiastic about stitching them. And so I'm kind of trying to weed through more lately. The patterns that I've went ahead and bought are more like that. The animals, whether they're realistic or cartoonish, just kind of depends on how it hits me. It's a combination of them, but I've found that I really like the little animal patterns better. And so, that's kind of what I'm drawn to. And it doesn't really matter what the size so much, although don't have any plans to do like, a heaven and earth pattern or something like that. That's really huge and complicated. I have enough huge and complicated, like I have like pandemic, I really like that. I don't know when I'm ever going to finish it, because it's pretty big and it's pretty complicated and all that. When it came up on my WIPGO board, I was able to make pretty good progress on it. But again, I really like it, and it's got the little animals, and yeah, like I said, I found that that's what I am really drawn to more. So, yeah, bunnies and elephants and, all the animals and sheep and deer and things like that. So, anyway, so by next week, I will have probably, I know I will have finished Hippity Hop. And I will have had some more time on the other things I'm working on, and then I probably will have started at least one of the new starts that I have, the Parade of Elephants and or the Elephant Biscornu. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna be monogamous on for the first, for those 10 days of Parade of Elephants and 10 days of the Biscornu. If I'm going to do monogamous or I'm going to switch back and forth between the two, I don't know. It's yeah. But so next week I will have more progress to show you, hopefully. And until then, keep stitching. Bye.